up, guys? How are you guys doing this afternoon? Honestly, I don't even know where to begin this video. This is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about a long time. I've kind of hinted at it on my social medias. I've talked about it here and there, and you know, for a while now. It's been a while. If you follow me on any of my social medias, especially Facebook, you know that I am very passionate about this subject, and I really wanted to talk about this because it's important, because it pertains to the industry that I'm a part of, and an industry that I really truly do love to work in. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and fill you guys in on what is going on if you guys don't know what's going on, because this is obviously not a channel where we typically do stuff like this, but I'm passionate about this and I'm definitely going to be speaking on it. Okay guys, so before I get into this video, I'm going to preface it by saying that we are going to be switching back and forth between two different sets of footages, because I filmed prior with some friends, and then I kind of got up this morning and wanted to add a couple things, so I just wanted to let you know that's what was going on. We're kind of just going to be going back and forth, you know, talking about the situation and just going more in depth about, you know, reporting and stuff like that. So if you are unaware of what is happening, Jerry Harris, star of the Netflix series Cheer, has been charged, or you know, accused of being, you know, a predator and preying on young boys. And that's just the facts. That's what I'm giving, the facts. That's all it's gonna be. And I might sprinkle in a few opinions here and there, but honestly, you know, I feel like this story right here is like the catalyst for a lot of things that have been going on in the industry for quite some time now, and that people have really been turning a blind eye to, or not really focused on.
Coaches, us being on this side, we do talk about it a lot, like backstage, like it's something among the groups that we're into that we talk about, and I think it's good to have an insight on our side, being as we were all athletes at one point too.
Absolutely.
We have our own stories, we hear them amongst other athletes, other coaches, gym owners, like, and I think it's just a good time to keep talking about it now instead of shunning it away.
But there have been certain instances, and everybody knows about like your personal intuition, and with that being said, you always know when something is up and when something is a little fishy. But being in the cheerleading community, people can really intimidate you.
Honey.
As in all like professions, you can be intimidated, and cheerleading is definitely one of those professions where when you are intimidated, it's just not by one person, it's usually a group of people.
Yeah.
It sucks because while there's us coaches and owners who are trying so hard to do that, there's also this huge organization that's not keeping up with our requests and the things that we're telling them. They're just sliding it under the rug until someone gets famous or this huge thing is brought to light or a big deal is like, why do we gotta start drama for someone to believe it? There's also been the ones who do report it, and basically unless they're given proof, like this type of proof in this situation, then nothing's really done unless there's a police report or something like that. So I do see kind of where it's fearful for an athlete to come to a coach when the coach has already been denied basically when they do try to reach out.
Absolutely.
Stop protecting these people. You can think of it as protecting a teammate, protecting a lifelong friend, a family member. No, you're protecting a pedophile. You're protecting a child molester. You're protecting someone who is not only soliciting sex and pictures and videos of children. Think about your niece, your nephew, your neighbor. Think about the children that you coach. Think about your future children, your future grandparents. These are all things that we have to take into account.
All of this first came out, I was really skeptical, because I'm like, wait a minute, just the timing of everything that's going on. And you know, we're gonna touch on influence here in a minute, because I feel like that has a lot to do with a lot of the things that are surrounding this
and why hasn't
case.
Been brought to
Okay, so it says the criminal investigation is based on allegations brought by 14-year-old twin brothers. In interviews with USA Today, the boys described a pattern of harassment both online and at cheer competitions that started when they were 13 and Harris was 19. They said it continued for a little more than a year.
I'm Jerry Harris from The Outside View.
from social media is a completely different person from when you actually know him.
Yes, he might be charming and funny and lovable, and also be engaging in sexual activity with children.
Allegation, we have barred this person from having any affiliation with Varsity Brands or any of its subsidiaries or affiliates now and in the future.
A year later.
A year later.
Which, why, when these allegations, what are we going to do about these allegations when they first pop up? What are we going to do about, like, when are we going to start doing something about them then? Like, why are we just now, a year later, doing something about this? Like, why is Varsity, of all people, who's supposed to be the face of the cheer industry, why are they allowing him to still even try and be a part without investigating it?
One thing that I definitely want to touch on is the pattern that is repeating itself. You have coaches in the industry now that are coaching children, and they're exhibiting the same behaviors that were exhibited to them when they were coaching. Some of these huge gyms have been around for 25 plus years. They have groomed these young boys and girls, and now they think that this behavior is acceptable. So now they're doing the same things when they move off and open up their own gyms or go and coach at another very large gym. They're doing this to the same kids that used to be them, and we have to stop the pattern now. And in our industry, let it be known it's not okay. This is not what cheerleading is. It is a sport filled with athleticism, fun, and family. And it's true, sometimes we do have the bad apples in the bunch, but what do you do with those apples? You throw them in the trash. It's time for us to throw the apples in the trash and stop leaving them in with the other fruit and spoiling it.
Honey, we need to hold everybody else to the same standard that we are holding Jerry Harris to, as far as I'm concerned. There's been people that have gotten away with this behavior for years, and just like Trey brought up earlier, this is something that has been normalized within our industry. And I know this is something that we all have been very vocal about on all of our platforms. I know on Facebook, in the AGSA page, and we're going to read some commentary from there too, because I feel like there's some really, really good points in those comments, in those comment sections.
Want to put out there, because even though it's less talked about, we are not just kind of setting this to one gender. It can happen with male and female coaches.
Absolutely. There's no discrimination when it comes to this kind of stuff.
I feel like it's actually more swept under the rug, like we were talking about earlier. Like, I feel like it's more swept under the rug when it's a guy and a guy more than a girl.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, when it's a girl,
absolutely.
Like, especially when it comes to like children, whenever it's a young female and an older guy, it's punished like that. But when it's a guy and a guy, like y'all said, it's more of like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, and that's how it's been.
Have seen that obviously more than I have, but even as a girl, it's very easy to recognize that.
The accusations against Harris have also been reported to the U.S. All-Star Federation, which governs the competitive cheerleading discipline in which Harris and the boys compete. Kristen said she filed 2 reports with USASF. She said her first report, sent May 15th, garnered a brief response from USASF Vice President and Membership Amy Clark. She said she did not hear from Clark again until she filed the second report on July 9th. Clark set up a call with Kristen for the next day. During the call, Clark indicated that the organization was opening up an investigation according to an audio recording Kristen provided USA Today. However, USASF did not suspend Harris from participation in all All-Star activities until Monday, the same day USA Today reported the allegations against Harris. USASF said it could not comment on the ongoing investigation.
So they knew about this, but for the cheer, the cheer episodes, let him cheer, let him do all the episodes, let him travel, let him do all these things.
I've been dying to talk about this for a hot minute. I'm sorry, I have been. I know y'all have seen that list of banned people.
You mean that short list?
That short list,
like,
yes. She's giving us about 10 names, and I'm sorry, somebody ain't doing the math right. Somebody ain't doing the math right. I'm sorry.
Because 1 + 1 does not equal fish.
It does not equal fish. No. Kristen and the boys filed a lawsuit Monday in Texas against Harris, Varsity, and USASF, and also Cheer Athletics, at which Harris cheered, court records show. In it, the family accuses Harris of sexual misconduct and the cheer organization of negligence and failures to protect the boys from abuse. And this goes back to what we have been saying this entire video.
When they reported it,
not
taking care of it.
not taking care of it, and not, doing their due diligence and just making sure these
Following
things.
up on these accusations.
Yeah. Jerry Harris's side, there are definitely more people.
There's going to be skeletons falling out the closet everywhere.
They're going to be coming everywhere. And this is been a topic of conversation amongst us for a long time. We've talked about it, and like we said before, a lot of us have really been scared to even talk about this.
It's hard to address it. How do we address it and be heard?
Yeah. And how do you address it and be heard? And then also, how do you address it and not be blackballed in this industry? Because people in this industry have a tendency to, if you go against the grain and you fight against the current, they are going to try every single which way to take you down. And that is how this business is. That is how this industry is. That's how it works. And we can sit up here and we can say it doesn't work that way, but it does. There's a hierarchy when it comes to this industry. And there are certain people who don't want to let you in. And if you're in, when you get out, you better keep your mouth shut. You better not speak on the things that happen in this industry.
Normalized it.
People are very scared to point fingers, but it's time to stop being scared. Fingers need to be pointed. We need to find out the reasons that these issues are not being resolved, the reasons that there are still children in this industry that do not feel safe and protected, the reasons why children are not coming forward and people who are adults now are not coming forward. We need to understand the reasons behind that. It is time to point fingers.
Yeah.
You have to stop being scared.
How many allegations before this has Varsity turned over to the police? I won't make judgment on Jerry until the investigation is finished, but I'm just saying, how many reports does Varsity receive a year? And of those reports, how many are turned over to the police and made public in order to keep our community safe? And I feel like this right here says it all for me. It says it all for me. And a lot of times things go unreported.
Reported. I mean, reported in a sense as they report it to USASF. But
we've seen that list.
That list is short.
It's short. We've seen the list. I read through the article. I looked through all the videos. And as I stated before, the evidence is very incriminating. And, it's really sad because we as a community and as an industry, we were all rooting for Jerry. I was rooting for Jerry. His story is so touching, and I think it's really sad, just overall, how much this is affecting our industry. But also, as I stated before, this is a catalyst, for a lot of other abuse victims to come forward and speak their truths. And, I've been hearing a lot, on our AGSA page. This is a page where gym owners and coaches, they all talk and they all kind of give their opinions on situations to, talk about reporting. And, when we report these cases, a lot of the times you need some substantial evidence, to back up that claim that you are making. It's sad that, a lot of these cases don't really ever get picked up, or they don't ever really get taken care of. And, that, shuns people away from not wanting to report or just not wanting to deal with the police reports, when honestly, we work in the industry of children, and I've stated this several times throughout this video. And I really feel like it's important that, if we are in this industry, we are putting our best foot forward and making sure that, we are taking care of the kids and taking care of the people that take care of us. And over the years, I feel like this industry has kind of created this culture of this cult-like protection when it comes to, certain individuals. And I definitely feel like that needs to be exposed. That's, my opinion. And, also it's just me, having a moral compass, and I feel like a lot of people, they lack that moral compass. And at some point this industry definitely changed. It took a turn, and I saw it, years ago. It wasn't like this, and I mean, it was like this, but it was less publicized. I will say that it was less publicized. So there were definitely things that were going on, but it was just less publicized to the public. People really didn't have an idea on what cheerleading was. And now that we are in the public eye and we're very visible to the world, we have to make sure that we are doing our best. And I really want to touch on influence and the people that we really build in this industry and we give power and influence to. And the issue that I have with this is you never really truly know who you're giving a platform to, and what they're doing behind closed doors, what's happening on the other side of that phone screen. But I definitely think we need to be a little bit more vigilant, and we need to really think about, you know, the people that we are boosting in this community. I really think we need to take a look at our choreographers, people that are stunting in our gyms, people that are teaching stunting privates. You know, I definitely think we need to be looking more at these people because, you know, they slip underneath the radar. They slip underneath the radar, and because, you know, they can teach great stunts or they can do amazing choreography, you know, doesn't give them a pass. That doesn't give you a pass because you can provide a service. And I need you guys to understand that. And, you know, if you are a gym owner and you have done this and you have, you know, kind of just let it sweep underneath the rug and not really said anything about it, you're a part of the problem. Unfortunately, a lot of these times, gym owners don't want to take the heat for that person working in their gym. And I think at some point you've got to take your, you know, your business out of it, and you've got to look at it from a moral standpoint, and you have to have some kind of a moral compass. And you know, I've been seeing people in the AGSA page say that, you know, I've been in this industry for years and I haven't heard anything, and I'm just kind of like, you can't possibly be that naive. You can't possibly have been in this industry for over 2 decades and just not know anything and, you know, refer to it as bar talk. You know, it's kind of silly to me. You know, I knew it was coming. I knew it was happening. You know, I knew this was going to be a topic of conversation. I just didn't think that it was going to be this person. I thought it was going to be other people. And it's crazy because, you know, we look at that USASF list and they put Jerry on that list quickly. But there's some people out there that, you know, are still not on that list. And, you know, it's very important that, you know, they get on that list. Miss USASF, I'm gonna need you to do the math right, sis. I definitely feel like we need to make sure that we are holding these people accountable for their actions, and not just Jerry. As I said before, there are people that still need to be held accountable. We have to hold these people accountable. We have to hold industry leaders accountable, and especially people that have heavy influence on this industry, because at the end of the day, what they do, it trickles down, and also what they do is seen to the world. And there's victims out there that, you know, need to be brought to justice, and I'm hoping that more people will come forward with their stories and, you know, talk about it, because it's a very serious topic. And, you know, I hope it is treated the same way we treated the Larry Nassar case. I hope if there's any corruption within the higher ups, that we are getting rid of people and we are, you know, reallocating these positions to people that deserve to be there and that really have a moral compass. I also want you guys to sound off down below and let me know what you guys thought of this video. Give me your thoughts, give me your opinions, comment down below on how you feel USASF has tackled these cases in the past, and also comment down below and let me know what ways you think that we can do better in this industry, because at the end of the day, we have to do better. We have to make sure that we're holding these people accountable. And I know I've said this a lot, but, you know, I'm very passionate about this. Like, we have to make sure that we're holding these people accountable, especially people that hold influence within this industry. And I think that's it for today, guys, and until next time, bye.